like I really don't belong. I can't explain it. When I close my eyes, I see a strange reality. Am I dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? You wake up feeling like you really don't belong. You can't explain it, but when you close your eyes you see familiarity. Are you dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? Who will you be tomorrow? And what are you today?
Hello, darling. I am back, and so are you. Thank you. I mailed your little something yesterday, which meant it went out today because I was late. So, yeah, I have a problem. It's definitely a problem. I bought more wool today. No, I didn't spend $200. I was more careful in that. I have specific projects in mind, so I bought a bunch of wool. It's the shipping that really gets you. The closest I can get right now for the wool I need is Pennsylvania, it seems. I can get some in Groton, but she's mostly a yarn store, you know, and I'm getting the stuff before it's turned into yarn. So it's my selections are, ironically, there's a whole bunch of people into this in Texas, and amazing work coming out of Texas. I have to say, I'm very impressed with some of it. They're teaching, they're loving their work, and they're raising wool, a whole bunch of wool in Texas, which surprised me. I wouldn't think sheep would like Texas. Alas, getting stuff from Texas, it costs almost as much in the shipping as it does for the wool I'm ordering. And that's good amount of wool. So I've been just looking for local stuff, and I just got, there's going to be a festival in Rhinebeck, New York in October. And it's $85 for the ticket, transportation there and back. The problem is the transportation too, because it leaves at 7 in the morning from Groton, from that very yarn store I was just talking about. And it's an all-day thing, so I'd be leaving there at 7 a.m. and returning there at 7 p.m. But Pennsylvania. Well, I lived in New York for a few years, kind of. I mean, I can say I was there, but my housing was insecure. I spent some of that time in the hospital with the heart thing. Um, but I really liked York, and if I'd been able to match up with a better landlady who wasn't kind of half off of her rocker, um, I would have stayed longer. But some personalities, she her specific problem, not exactly known, but the problem that affected me was her taking herself suddenly off Klonopin. After many years of being on Klonopin, she decided, well, I'm not working anymore, so I can just stop. And that was when things got freaking weird, and I ended up here in Connecticut. But Pennsylvania is a beautiful state. Um, Originally, when I was looking at maps, trying to decide where do I want to go from here, where do I want to live next, excuse me, I looked at a topological map because I wanted lots of woods and a lot of water. Very important for me to be near both. And there was a spot in Pennsylvania. It's like right there. I want to go right freaking there. And I got to visit not that far away. What was weird though was later on I discovered that the person I was actually researching in England for the book I'm writing right now. And it turns out I'm not going to likely use anything that I studied for all those years, thinking they were going to go in the book. The people I was studying, one in particular, Joshua Wedgwood, the China fame, glasses and cups and all that. He and his best friend were running away from England to Pennsylvania, where they thought they would be able to live healthier lives. And also they were abolitionists, and the tide kept turning in England. It was free the slaves, and then it was no, wait a second, what we're doing, we need those slaves, they work for free. And they were both preaching against it, so they went to Pennsylvania. But the one I was researching died 2 weeks before he was supposed to leave. He had an infection that had been in his body for many years from something that happened to his knee. And then finally he croaked, and so his best friend made it here. So the weird thing is that where I said I want to go right there, that's where his friend ended up with his wife. It's like, oh, Isn't that weird? But I chose it based on the number of trees and bodies of water. But this would be a great place for another farm. But I ended up down there more by accident than by design. But I did put it, I said, when I started looking into the maps, it's like, yeah, I do want to end up there. Excuse me. And I got close. Well, Pennsylvania is, well, it's quite a drive to this state, you know. Oh, I should say what I'm doing. First of all, good morning, Ree. Good afternoon, Ree. For me, it's still Wednesday morning. Um, one of my friends has Christmas trees up all year, and she's across the hall from me. And she's got a very crowded little apartment because it's no bigger than mine. Excuse me. I'm congested today. But she's got this one little tree in her living room. It's the gingerbread tree. Everything on it is gingerbread, or gingerbread colored, I should say. So I thought, why don't I make some pre-felts? This is just going to end up being most likely a bookmarker at some point, but get some pre-felt done, and I can cut out shapes like gingerbread and then plant them into a little lantern for her. So something that would have that nice, warm, Christmassy glow and match that tree. Matter of fact, maybe I could make something that'll sit in the tree like a bird's nest kind of a thing. I must think this out. You have taken quite a few road trips in your time, haven't you? You love traveling, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, you're still there, darling. It's very interesting. Now this, excuse me, is what I bought. Like, you get a bag of little 1 gram poofs, 4 needle felting. So it goes far when you're making little teeny things. Excuse me, but for wet felting, it goes pretty fast. That's why I ordered like 4 ounces of 2 to 4 ounces of all the things I needed today. To make sure we have everything we need before we start the project. Mm. String. Yes. Okay. Let's sing it. I don't need a whole lot. I'll just see a piece. Oh, there you are. Some string lights. Oh, well, you know, this is only the size of a baseball. But the string lights, the little teeny ones, look awesome. And I do have a couple of them in my lamps. But one of them is orange and one of them is purple. So I want to get some white ones. I had some white ones, but they died. And the other white ones I do have, they're wrapped around my mesquite tree. Isn't that something? Congratulations. He plays one of those violent survivor games. What is it again? Aloha. Oh, in my room, typing in all caps is more of a favor to me than an insult. You know, shouting, if you use all caps, it's because of my vision. I need loud eye stuff and loud ear stuff at this point in my life. Battlefield 1942. You know what? I just watched the movie 1941. It was great. It's hilarious. Not the war, the movie. Had little baby Kevin Bacon in it. I mean, boy, he was young in that. John Belushi. A whole bunch of famous and often gorgeous people. So I gather you have broken out of your top 10. What number are you in the older? He got so good before that he got kicked out. They were pissed off that he was winning so much. Oh, oh, I'm too rough. You're too rough. Okay, sorry. Let's go backward. We need more soap. Just don't feel sick anymore. No, that's too much water. Not a kid game. All right, we need to have this smoother. Some of this apparently is merino wool, and it's too fine to be on the bubbly side. And stick to the plain one. So I can get a little prepared. Oh, I have fortune cookies today. I ordered some Chinese food. I don't think I'll be going out this month with the expenditures, but that is the cutest thing. Alice, does your cat play with your pad or phone? Doc's cat plays, I don't know, it looks like fish and mice. You're not allowed to use it anymore. That's hilarious. So every time you take it out to use it, he wants in. But it does keep him busy. You can lay it on the floor, and you're gonna have to get him a basic Android pad, like super cheap. They're miniature. Your cats or the games? He sent me pictures of the iPod on the floor, and the cat is stretched out, very involved, keeping an eye on that, and also kind of protecting the pad from Maui taking it away from him. It's so cute. We did not have that kind of tech when I had a cat. Cats. They had to go chase their own rats in real life. We could use more soap. Okay, we're going to take out the olive soap. He certainly has. He certainly has. I was always impressed by him, but I will tell you, I didn't recognize him at first when he played that horrible, oh, who was it? That super villain. I don't know what is, if he had a name. I watched that whole X-Men movie, and I'm watching this guy, and I'm going, wow, he looks familiar. He looks familiar. Like, who the hell is he? But I didn't see the credits. And the movie was over before I saw who I was looking at. And then I had to go back and look at him again and going, oh my God, you did such a good job of being evil that it was hard to look at him as an actor at all, or as a human being at all for a little bit there. I had to get my head back on straight. Oh my goodness, you're right, he's addicted. He's just like a little person. I want my games, okay? Lead me to my games and my coffee. That's cute as hell. But yeah, I can see where that could be a little problematic. It's a good thing you play your favorite game on the desktop. This is felting nicely. Except where I rolled it because I was too eager. Now I made this only like 2 layers thick because I need to shrink it and all that, cut it out the shapes, and then put the shapes into the lamp. And I want a kind of a gingerbread feel to it. But I also know from now making a bunch of lamps and putting lights inside them, it's like, okay, you have to use lighter colors if you really want to get a glow going. I love the way the light shows the cross hatching and all. Oh, is he? Oh, he or she. Now, wait, what? Oh, he sent a picture of his cat holding 2 6-shooters. That was cute. Is it a female? Because I've had antisocial females, but I've never had an antisocial male. My male cats were always like my soul mates. They were always right there, super duper companions. My females were kind of like teenage girls. They were moody. Tasha, my deaf one, she would have nightmares, I guess. And she'd wake up and she'd see Moisha sleeping next to her. And she would just go wham, 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 slam him on his head. And they'd try to get away. And I came out one morning hearing the sounds, and he's hanging by his legs on the top shelf. Everything was carpeted. Top shelf of the cat thing I built. And Tasha's standing above him like wham, wham. And I'm like, stop it. Of course, she couldn't hear me. I had to go and get in the way. But yeah, she used to wake up with an attitude. Yeah, you're gonna have to get him his own little cheaper version. Anything is too expensive to give to your cat permanently. As much as I love all my animals, I did have limits. I felt that my investment in all of their monthly medicines to keep them alive down on the farm, I showed my love. Also, all their treats and toys. But at some point, yeah, none of them was going to get their own phone or pad. Actually, At the time I was on the farm, we did not have such a thing as a pad. We had just moved to phones you could wear and carry around, which I really liked. Gangster. Well, he does look like he's wearing a bit of a suit, black and white. Okay, it's time to roll it. And we'll get out some excess water. This happens when it's really thin. Okay. It all helps melting. Now when I'm done with this, anybody want we haven't had any fortune cookies done in a while. I thought they were a fair price, 6 for 80 cents. Like, how cheap are these things? A slipper. Well, he is very active. My hands are so slippery. That's one thing to remember when you're working on this stuff. Your hands are going to be more slippery than you realize. Even when you think they're dry, they may not be as dry as you think because they've got a layer of soap also dry on you. You'll know as soon as you hit water. Yeah, yeah, they are. Let's face it, they're all princesses. The females all wear crowns, you know that. They start you. Gary said hi. Hi, Gary. I didn't see you. Thank you, Doc. Gary's got the day off. And I'm here at a reasonable hour. That's because I didn't finish making my bed. I've been kind of doing chore here, chore there, finish that, close that loop, open a new loop. Well, I've got an open loop in the bedroom. I got the bottom sheet down, and now I have to put the 2 top sheets on. And a couple more pillowcases. A nice cat. Your cat sleeps, is his point. Cyrus wakes him up to take a walk in the hall. Telling he hears things. He hears the other cats. Just because you can't hear them. He's just very active. He's burning up the calories because he's definitely not getting fat. He's not an overweight cat. So something's working out. When he stops moving as much, you can feed him a little less. I had to put my Moisha on a diet, and she was not happy about that. I didn't let her get terribly obese, but matter of fact, I didn't really think of her as obese at all, but it was 1 extra pound she didn't need. And when you're talking about small bodies, 1 pound is a huge percentage. So poor thing, I had to cut back her food. I did it gradually so she wouldn't hate my guts. My hair? It is wispy. My hair has chemo kink, which I definitely did not have growing up. I don't mind that, actually, because it gives my hair, well, a little body. But yeah, it's super soft, but it's thinning and keeps thinning, and hydroxyurea. It just is what it is. Oh, my hands. See, I thought you were saying my hair. Well, there you go. This has nothing to do with hydroxyurea. Well, actually, in a little way it does, because what it does to the fatty layer under the skin. But yeah, it's just all the soap. It's, well, in this case, this is olive oil soap. That is the best you can use on this. But when I fill the bowl with water here, I fill it with purified heated water from my tea kettle. And I use a gentle dish soap, liquid dish soap, also very diluted. It doesn't have a degreaser in it, so it's not Dawn. Or I did use a Dawn, but I got a Dawn that doesn't have a degreaser in it. They actually have that. I'm glad you said that. I had to wait for it to rise above the thing in the chat that's in the way of me seeing the heart. Does it even work? Because if I click on this, all I see is little black spots. Are you seeing anything? Do you see anything floating on the screen anywhere? At that. It's like the most useless thing. It's just in the way of seeing what you are saying. I lose a word behind that heart. Like for me right now, Doc, I can say it says she hands and the hand emote. It doesn't say the word said. It doesn't show on my phone chat. And now I can see it. She said hands. And now what you've said, all I can see is it's government taping in. It's the size of my phone screen. And their stupid little emoji thing that doesn't seem to work. But that's okay. I just have to wait for the next person to say something in the chat and then it moves up. What are we doing? Yeah, even when it's the smooth side of bubble wrap, excuse me, you still get 1,000 little hands touching. And it's a little unasked for threads. It's getting nice and filtered in. I'd like to see more migration, excuse me, of the rusty color coming through. I think it's done. You know, we don't need to make this super felted because it's actually going to get felted into a larger piece. So I will set this aside. It needs to be washed and soaked. I don't know how I did that, but I gave myself a weird blood blister today, somehow. No recollection. Okay, well, I'm going to quick run to the kitchen sink so I can get this out of my way and dry off. Okay, so here it is shrunken. See how quickly it dries. So I have to let this dry. I could felt it further, but I don't want to because it's going to be felted in the finished piece. But it is crinkling up. After it's ironed, I will cut out the images I want, where I want them. It's interesting to see what held the water more than the rest. I hope this is not synthetic because, boy, this really dried out the way I would not expect. This can't be synthetic. I bought this specific wool. We will find out, but not right this minute. Right this minute, we are going to do something else. We're going to cookie. So Doc is used to this. He knows the routine. You have 3 cookies to choose from: the left, the right, and the center. You choose. I will smash and read. And this will give me an opportunity to sip my tea a little. So who wants a fortune cookie? You don't even have to buy the food. You just get the cookie. And after one is chosen, the next person gets another one added so that it's always 3 to choose from. Any takeoff? It looks like there's 5 people here, but nobody's speaking. Nobody's thumbed up. I will put these aside. While you think about it, we'll return to our soggy towel because it's okay at the moment. And I'm going to have to run a test or 2 before I use this again. If it's synthetic, I'm going to be a little annoyed, but it's okay for the moment. Ah, well, there you are. Left to right, middle. I have wool everywhere. Left, right, or middle? So I'm wondering how long a lag is there between me speaking and you hearing and then posting in the chat? I know there's definitely a lag because it goes to my main computer before it goes to my phone. Okay. The middle. Wow. That's a hard one. Oh yeah. Let's use this so we don't end up with crumbs on the work table. You see me pull it out so you know it's for you. This is so you anyway. Respect the elderly. They carry wisdom from the past. I don't know. I think you deserve a second cookie after that. Try again. That was boring. I already know you respect the elderly. Three. It's left, right, or middle. Well, let me finish Gary because I got these out for him, and then we'll get the fresh ones out for you. The elderly ignore your hellos. Well, I don't understand that. You're a very friendly person. They may just be deaf. I thought some people here were ignoring me, and it turned out they were deaf. Too deaf to hear me. I had to like get right up in their face. But now I understand that because I'm that deaf. Because I see another doctor in 2 weeks. This scared me for a second because there's nothing on one side. But this is the mysterious side of your nature makes you most alluring. I don't know if you can read that. It's probably backward. The mysterious side of your nature makes you most alluring. Whoa, that's nice. Okay. Oh, okay, well, that one's out. Okay, Alice. Left, right, or middle? I think I must have kicked my camera again. I sit down and then I look up and go, oh, camera's not centered again. Why? I usually kick the tripod or something moves it. There is a lag, yeah. Left, right, middle, or center. You would think it's a kind of shell game. I'm watching. It is hard to have a conversation, since I can talk way faster than any of you can type. That is a hell of a lag. I can go get some more wool while you're deciding left, right, or middle. And it coming up. I wonder if it's because of all the storms. Seems slower than usual. Well, I put more on this mint green in my wish list. I did not order it today though. Alice, which cookie do you want? Red neon is Gary. He's in Georgia. Alice is in Alabama. My chair is stuck. Neat. Let's see, we've got the greenies. Oh, yes. Middle, okay. I knew it would come up eventually. Is there anybody else who would like a fortune cookie? It's free. Oh, they didn't print anything on the back of this one either. A good time to start something new. It is. It is a very good time to start something new. Again, I doubt you can read that, especially because my camera is backwards. And I already flipped it one way. Yeah. So anyway, it's a good time to start something new. Would anybody else like to partake? I have some fun, weird stuff here that we're going to play with. Because, well, we already got soaking wet. Let's move some of this stuff. Now, I have these handy. If anybody else wants a fortune cookie, feel free to speak up. Yes. This is going to be fun and interesting. Let's try some gold, just because. This stuff does not felt, not in the normal way, but it does weird, entertaining things when you felt it, or try to felt it. So just because it is weird and fun, we're going to go ahead and mess with it today. I haven't done this in a little while, and I really was admiring the way one of my pieces came out using it, and the strange things it did. So let's see, we're going to want some of this on both sides of the sphere. I think we're just going to cut it instead of trying to rough the whole thing. Now this is apparently like it's kind of like a metal foil that's wrapped around a synthetic string. It doesn't tarnish. I mean, considering all of the water it was exposed to, I expected some kind of change, but the test went so well, I'm doing it again. And this stuff, oh, this is so soft. I believe that some of this fiber, excuse me, it's all synthetic, but it's called Angelina. And you can buy the single bits of it to turn into threads like this. It does not felt because it's not wool, but it does interesting things when mixed with wool. So we're going to go ahead and mess with this too. I'm not going to let it all stay tangled up. I think I'll use blue. We'll do that for a minute. This is the 80-20 mix of merino wool and silk. Like some of the most beautiful stuff I've ever felt or felted with. So the stuff I bought today, which you'll see in a week or so, is as fine as this, I believe. But we'll find out. The price was really good. And I already purchased a couple things from this vendor before, so matter of fact, this mint green came from her. I ordered some Angora because yes, I want to try it, and what I got was yarn. So I'm saving it for my sister because she knits. I can buy some. It's very expensive, I think, but I haven't tried it yet. Have you any Angora rabbits around? Yeah, one of the things I do like about the felting is you don't have to kill the animal to get the useful part. And not to sound like a hypocrite, I do eat lamb. It's one of my favorite things. Um, Although I shouldn't say it around my wall because I don't want to get them nervous. It's okay. I love you like you are. Oh, are you on a road trip? Oh, that's right. You're going to the party. Celebration of life. I would love to hear more about that if you were in the mood to write about it. But, don't feel obligated. I don't like putting people on the spot, but I'm always interested. This makes me think of Angora because it is so, so, so soft and wispy and light. Actually reminds me also of combing my long-haired cats and the soft, plentiful hair that you would pull out in a good brushing. If I'd known how to do this then, I would have saved that hair and preserved my babies forever in a sweater or something. Well, a felted something because, again, I can't knit. It is so soft. If I had an Angora rabbit as a pet, I'd be saving its fur. I have a beanie made with Angora. Oh, wait a second. I need to build this up with, I need a thicker corridor. We need to get a little chunky. And Gary, that corridor you like so much, it's available in like 52 colors. Like, oh, where am I going to put 52 colors? Well, not. As an artist, I would want to have at least 4 ounces of every color available because that would be my palette. But it's just not practical with my budget or lifestyle. And I also don't look good in every color, so why bother spending money on stuff that, I'm not going to look good in it. I mean, aside from all these gifts that I'm making, what I want to do is make wearable art that I can wear. And I've been thinking of one weird thing to do. I'm one of those people with a million keratoses, like I'm totally wrapped in them, like a leopard, Well, I never liked them. And as I've gotten older, I've gotten way uglier ones that I grew up with. Thanks, Mom. In any case, I learned when I had thyroid surgery that if you remove them surgically, they come back in as if they're getting revenge. So, like, no, I'm not going to get anything surgically removed. I had a little thing removed over here. You know, they froze it. Now I got a little perfectly round scar. So I don't want to do that either. Sorry, my brain had to glitch to get back over here. I was thinking of making a like a vest or something and make it match my skin. I've discovered that a whole bunch of women, especially around my age, have the same issue and they hate it. And, you know, we shouldn't hate our bodies because it just makes things concentrate that we don't want to concentrate. Even if you're not overly in love with your body, at least don't condemn it for what it's doing. So I try to always be reasonable when I talk to myself and correct any self-loathing self-talk before it can get a grip on me. Nevertheless, I have never been fond of my spots, and I've tried connecting them in entertainment. And finally, it's like, oh, why don't I just make something that matches, like a collar and the top and everything all looks like, well, pebbled. I never liked black licorice. What made you think of black licorice out of the blue? Which has nothing at all to do with anything I've been talking about. Unless you did a leap of thought that we did not follow, catch us up. All right, we're going to use some Corriedale to poof this up. Bang on it. Now see that little bit, that's why I'm trying to buy a 4-ounce minimum of every color. But it turns out if you're making something like a purse, it takes a lot more than you think. So this is all we've got left of it. Split it. Because it's got to go for both sides. You can see how proofy this stuff gets, which is exactly what we want in this case. Because when this starts to felt, it's going to give us a lot of texture and bulk, and that will help hold the shape of the vessel. Don't be going anywhere yet. Okay, so we're doing the crosshatch back out this way. And because I said I want a lot of texture, after we get this bulky bit in, we're going to do one more layer of the silk. So it'll be silk inside and out, basically. Now the Corriedale shrinks differently than the merino. So that's one of the things that helps get all this extra texture in it. Well, I got the sad news this morning that one of my friends has run out of options for treating her multiple myeloma. And now they're just going to spend the next few months, whatever time she's got left, being with friends and family. Her mother's actually going to be 101 out in California, so they're going to try to make a trek out there to say goodbye to her mom in person. I don't know if her mom knows what's going on. I really feel horrible for my friend. They're celebrating yesterday or today was their 27th wedding anniversary. And now they're getting ready for the final goodbye, well, on this planet. So I figured now was the time to share my father's visit with them. I didn't want to share it while they were still trying different treatments. Even though we're eternal and we come and go like I don't believe, but having to say goodbye to your relationships is always sad. Um, I've never used Angora. I would love to try it as a fiber. And I have always loved black licorice, Gary. So can't relate to you there. It is. It's terrible. It's way worse than usual. It's not usually quite this bad. Yeah, it could just be the day. It could be. I'm still waiting to hear from my son out in St. Louis because, although I believe he's safe, they may have lost access to some stuff because I think a few tornadoes touched down around St. Louis. So I want to hear from him, obviously. Now it's funny you should ask about the Angora today because I just relocated my skein of Angora. I looked at it and went, what could I use this for if my sister doesn't want it? But I think my sister will use it. It's beige. She'll like it. Okay, I need another layer of the silky stuff. So over here, now this is the most expensive wool I've purchased so far. But when I was window shopping yesterday, I found some that was even more so. It's like, what do you want for that? Are you crazy? It goes by weight when you buy. Usually, when I started out, I was buying 1 ounce lots. And that was all I could afford, and I wanted to get some colors built up in my collection. But I thought it was reasonable, you know, price-wise, for what I get out of it. But some stuff was like, they're asking a 4 ounce price for 1 ounce. It's like, oh no, you don't. I know your game. I know there's better out there. So I went looking again. Ended up back where I had started, but I didn't mind. At least once a month, I need to go there to her website because she has a sale. And apparently the pinks don't move as fast as some people thought. Because I got some gorgeous merino, like 19 micron. That's pretty fine. Not the finest, but very fine. Like this is at least 19 or even lower, maybe even 13 micron. Super, super fine. Yeah, the prices, they do vary a lot, but you need to check different farmers and see how close you can get to its base price. Like I found a place in North Carolina, somewhere around Raleigh, and they were way overpriced. It's like, wait a second, you're one of the oldest people doing this, but you have the highest damn prices. Not going to buy from there, which actually I was very disappointed, because if I could give some people down there some of my money to help them get through, I'd be glad to. I mean, you know, in return for products. Okay. And now we do another soaking. This time, we must do it wisely. My superfine stuff will end up where it doesn't belong. Okay. Those wonderful sounds right next to the microphone. I'm making suds on purpose. And when you push down, you feel the air coming out of the wool. So you want to push it down. It's way too early to rub anything, or you'll just displace all these really fine fibers. So just pressing them in place. Now remember, the pattern is on the other side, and we'll see it after I flip it over. I'm gonna lay down more of this gold thread. I'm gonna wrap that around the front. And since it doesn't felt, it's going to add a lot more texture. So you can feel lumps and you go, wait a minute, that's not in the wool, it's in the towel underneath that. Oh, dun, 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 dun. Okay. Now what you're looking at right there on top, that's actually going to be the inside of the vessel. Never get well wet until you're ready to felt it. It will start on its own. There. Get away. Yeah, I'll stay back, stay back. There. Okay. No, really, stay there. Ta-da! Okay, now we're going to make sure the resist is in the exact right place. Okay. Sure we can leave it. No, no. The cool thing about doing this with this kind of resist that you can kind of see through, you'll see right away if there's any air bubbles. If you have any air bubbles, that means your wool or your synthetic is not making contact. And when you think you're done, you're far from it, and you've got a problem. Okay. Before I start flipping this onto itself, we're gonna lay this down. I do this the other side. Here we go. Jumbled. Nice and sudsy. It's a good thing. Okay. Okay. I'm very carefully. Let's anchor this down. Where we're going. Okay, and now we start folding. We're going to want to get a lot of this texture come from the way we fold this in. I'm trying to keep in a pretty much a circle. Okay, just put a little bit of water on there. Okay. Some of this excess water off. And now, I can hear you, beautiful, lustrous stuff. Not too wet. Let's take some water back off there. Oops. That's what happens when you pick up stuff. Mhm. Stay down. I need to put the Corriedale down on top of it. Stay put. Okay. My hands are still too big. Okay. Okay, I just need to get another handful of that blue and silver sliver. And then we can finish that off. Yeah. I have got to get to that festival. The Sheep and Wool Festival in Rhinebeck. There's only so many of them. They happen at different times of year. Like there's one in Connecticut on the other side of the state. I may as well go to New York, it's so far. And that's a drag. It's just a lot of driving. So there's one in the other side of the state in April, I think. This one is the summer one, and somewhere there'll be an autumn one, I'm sure. I used to go to those fall festivals all the time. I often entertained at them. So, and I remember lots of livestock and demonstrations from farm animals. I always loved those things. Watch them shear a lamb before your very eyes. take the excess out. And toss this over there to dry. Oh, good, thank you. Good. Don't be confounding. Okay, so what we're saying is the inside. We work from the inside out, or the outside in. So what you can't see is all the decoration stuff that we put in, but don't worry. Before I go to dinner, I will finish this, at least as much as I can. So let's get the soap going. And we want the sides, the seams always to be sealed. So you go from the outside in with the seams once everything is set. So it generally takes about 5 minutes of this particular motion to make it felt together enough so you can start doing the flipping around. Now, when I first started doing these, I wanted a round orb. I was so careful in making a perfectly round template. But after a few, I discovered I kind of like what we might think of as an imperfection. Instead of making it totally round, you add a little bit of this or that, and it stretches and shrinks differently, and you get more interesting textures. And because of the gold, that is going to do the most bizarre stuff. I just love what it did in my other projects. I've done 2 with the gold, and I've been eager to try again to see how far I can go with it. Now, I saw some gold Angelina today. And Angelina is a synthetic, sparkly stuff, and I have avoided it like the plague because to me it just looks so plastic. I just can't stand it. But then I started seeing some other examples of it and reconsidered my opinion that as long as it's not overused, it can be pretty cool when you mix it up, when you make your own yarn. And then today I saw someone showing a photograph of the yarn that she made that included this particular gold Angelina. And it was like, that is what I want. So we will eventually be getting some. I don't think I ordered it today. It was a different vendor. And we will have fun with that when it's time. What I've been doing until, to get that gold in, aside from this really strange gold stuff, is the gold sari silk. What little I've been able to extract from the giant knot, the 4-ounce knot. So the wool that's in there, the colorful stuff with 7 strands, I think. They're all different materials, but some of them have Angelina in it, or they were made with Angelina, so they're sparkly. And I'm hoping that when it felts, the bulk of it sticks, but then some of it is just sticking out to add that sparkly texture. We're going to find out. It's an experiment. I think ultimately they all are. That's still a little concerning there. Too much air there, right there. Yep. So we're going to squeeze some of this air out with the rolling pin. Make sure we're making good contact with our synthetics. I'd hate to take it apart, pull out the plastic and have all the cool stuff stuck to the plastic instead of the wool. So tell me, baby. Yeah, these things are so handy. Who would have known? My bingo winnings would have been so helpful. All right, let's roll and get that excess stuff out. Go that way and squeeze it out onto the towel. Like tomorrow I'm going to do a load of laundry again. And this time all the towels are going to go. And we'll get these in the dryer instead of hanging up, making my apartment more humid. Because we're supposed to get a bunch of rain this week. I don't need any more humidity than's already happening here. I need to remove excess, but not all of it. Doc, are you back? Gary, are you here? I got a notice today from Twitch. Devil Boy is on. He is doing karaoke, which is as usual. The problem is I don't usually get those notices until after it's all over. I don't know what it is with Twitch. And again, I don't check email every day. I might have gotten a notice right away and just didn't know. Yeah, Devil Boy. Can you believe it? No, he's on Twitch. He's got a Twitch channel. I subscribed years ago, but then, you know, he disappeared for a long time. And I know he was deeply depressed after his house burned down. He had to live in his sister's driveway in a third wheel thing. Of course, I have no idea what his situation is now. Because he's so far out in the boonies in Texas, there was no work for him. Yeah, the real one. The one and only. His picture matches. Ain't it though? If he'd been live when I found my email, I would have gone right over there to say hi. Shocked the shit out of him. What can you do? I think I confused a lot of people when we went from Celestial Tea Room to CallMeGailyn. You know, and every time we changed channels, we changed name. But I really thought here I wasn't gonna do the old format. I was just gonna use, well, Twitch actually to promote Nomaris. But then, you know, divorce and blah, blah, blah. But last night I was so inspired no matters. At 1 o'clock in the morning, I was sitting in bed writing on the Kindle. It's like, okay, we've got to get that Lenovo up and running this weekend. I have everything now, so I really don't have any excuse other than being a little too tired to focus on brain stuff. And another thing, I got two cases for my Lenovo. I made one order. It's like, why do I have two? They came through two different delivery systems, but it's the identical thing. I can't use two. It specially fits the Lenovo pad I have and nothing else. So I guess I can bring it back. But this is the second time something like that has happened, where they have sent the order, I guess, to two different places, and I got double what I asked for of something I don't need or want double of course, you know. It wasn't like I got double the sesame seeds, which I would have liked. All right. We're definitely getting the felting going now. Not shrinking yet. Oh, here's that red again. I should never have cut that red silk thread. I ended up with a bunch of little pieces that ended up everywhere. The dry one. Yeah, you know what? My fingers are very soft, and I'm starting to feel like that commercial that we used to see in the old days about Palmolive for the, Madge doing the nails. Like, maybe I need to do my nails. They are growing again. Okay. Let's get physical. I think I'm starting to cook my tea. Oh, come on now. I can get better than that. Roll, roll, roll your felt gently across your town. Merrily, 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 roll until you howl. I saw a felt painting today. Now it was needle felted. You get a very different kind of a texture. Now I've done needle felting on top of wet felting, of course, but it was like just this beautiful modern art kind of a face, like split. Each thing was a different color. It was just beautiful. It gave me ideas. And I tend to go abstract a lot. I like just the colors and the flow. But it wouldn't be a bad idea to make something with kind of like what I just saw. Kind of like my painting up there, which you can't see in this angle. I promised rain, and you got 3 drops. Is that all that's in those clouds? Our rain prediction has been changing like every day. Like I'm going out to learn how to use the injectable thing on Tuesday. But now they're saying the worst of our storms are going to be here on Tuesday. So I told my friend, I said, I've got an appointment for noon because she's going to take me. I said, but if it's nasty weather, no problem. I'll just reset the appointment. I haven't started it yet, so it's not like I'm missing a dose or something like that. You have strong ones, huh? I'm waiting to hear from Michael because of St. Louis being hit. I forgot to ask if there were any power outages or internet down. Just not there, huh? Wow, Maui, you got to go out there and do a naked rain dance. You'll have a lot of eyes on you. Are there any electric lines or internet outages in St. Louis today? Only minimal power outages. Only 122 customers are trapped without power right now. Everything looks pretty good. Good. Double checking. Without the soap, the soap might work, you know. You can do a bubble dance. Just don't forget your towel. And we should start getting some shrinkage obvious soon. It'll start curling on its own. Any more news about your neighbor in the hospital? Is she still in the hospital or is she back home? I think we're getting some traction in there. Now that middle layer of the Corriedale, to bulk it up, give me some more texture, will also prevent some of the stuff from coming through in the felting process. So the blue that I laid down, the Corriedale, should come up through the merino a bit, but it's going to be blocking all the extra stuff I added in there, like the gold. Now, on my previous two experiments with the gold, when it shrunk, it's her ex-boyfriend. What the hell is he doing there? Carlos! Hello, my darling. Charlie of the Sea, a new pizzeria. That sounds good. I know you like pizza, and your mom makes a fairly decent one. So where's Dad? I'm hearing the crinkling of the plastic in there. So, oh, are you have a big appetite today? Dad's working late. Mm. Well, it's too bad he can't join you. Then again, if it's not great, he'll be glad to have missed it, right? We usually have two or three different sizes in our pizzerias. Yeah, she's probably right. I'll turn the oven on way up, heat it up good before you stick a pizza in there. Well, that's somebody else is cooking it. Let them hit up their ovens. I agree with your mother. I treated myself yesterday. I ordered two of those combination plates from a Chinese restaurant. So each one comes with, you know, a lot of veg, a little meat, a bunch of rice. So I didn't have to cook last night or today. I have one meal left out of it. So I definitely get my money's worth when I indulge like that. Oh, Ellie makes medium. Okay, sweetie, I'll be here tomorrow. I hope the pizza turns out to be really yummy. At least just go and enjoy that your mom doesn't have to cook. Charlie's my adopted grandson in Portugal. I have grandchildren all over the world. It makes me very happy. It's starting to feel like it's happening. It's definitely felted now. Okay, we can now get a little rougher. It's always a little tricky with the merino. I don't want to tear it up, but it seems pretty well felted now. All right. We're going to take out the torture device. The bamboo. The bamboo sticks. Okay, my darling. Aloha. I wave. I'm so lucky. Oh yeah. Yeah, the torture device really hastens the process. And the plastic is starting to bend. Now, these little sticks do all of the work. You don't have to put a bunch of pressure on it at all. You see just a few fingers, just keep it rolling. And voila. We have to add a little water back in. We'll do this again. Sometimes it helps. I just want to make sure because we put some heavy stuff. Now the gold foil stuff, what it did on my other pieces was as this shrunk, it forced it into curls. So I got totally dimensional. It's a very interesting effect. So I've been looking forward to try it with a little bit more than a little teeny strand. We did that today. So we'll see. Yeah, getting there. Oh, we got a piece of silk in there. Yellow. The blue is all right. We'll just leave that for now. Yes. Okay, now I have to make a choice. I think I just did. This can be opened with a hole across the top or a hole in the center. I decided I'm going to go with a hole in the center because of the way I laid out the gold thread. So let's do it. Then we will get more shrinkage when we're able to remove. It's very important not to go all the way through, past the plastic in the middle. You don't want to open up a hole on the other side by accident, right? That'd be so embarrassing. It's the plastic, I feel it. There it is. Yay. You see a piece of the gold right there. So the gold is not felt. It basically becomes part of this, but it twists up. You can see where the corners, there are no corners in a circle. The edge is curled up very well as this was shrinking. Of course, it doesn't look like very much at the moment, but it's going to keep shrinking. We're not done. This is just the beginning. Rain here this morning, nice. Oh no. Global warming, it certainly is. Now, it looks like this gold did not stick as well as the last two times I used it. I may end up having to cut it off. Suds. Very sudsy. Oh, cool. No, it didn't stick great. The yarn did fine. It's just like hanging on. I didn't do the curl thing as much, though there's some. Well, a little disappointing, but not the end of the world. I might. No, it doesn't needle felt well at all. So it just barely held on. I thought I had plenty of fine fiber over it. No, that's not even strong right there. Huh. Well, I'm going to have to just get more creative with this after it's dry. It lets a lot of light through. There's a lot of openings in it. We'll have to soak it. Yeah, I'm gonna end up having to take this off. What a shame. Look at that. Some of it really stayed. And some did not. I guess this is where the fiber was able to make it through the wrapping to bond with the thread down the center of it. Still, it is not going to hold up with all the other stuff I want to do to it. So we're just going to have to stop there. I'm going to have to do its wash and all that later. So we have two things today. This did not come out as good as hoped, but oh, there we go. See, we got an overlap there, it twisted, but still inadequate. So off you come. Well, tough time. Nevertheless, you learn something every time you play with a different material. Yeah, that would have been cool if it just all stayed where it needed to stay. Oh, look at that. I mean, it's still, this is still actually usable. This made a whole knot. It threaded itself. Interesting. So yeah, this stuff is fascinating. I don't know how other people use it. Since I bought it as a whole, like a pound of thread. Oh well, that's okay. This stuff came out great. It's stuck really nicely. So that's what Angelina looks like. This shiny, almost iridescent kind of fiber. See it? Yeah, there we go. Very, very nice for making feathers or feathery bits. So I'm gonna make some holes. Okay, why? Because this is a lantern and I want it to shed some light. So we're just going to have little organic coals. Let's put it aside. Right there. Let's give it a tweak. Now, opening up holes in the item is something I'll be practicing with the 100-year-old scarf, since it's mostly holes at this point. I'm going to be learning how to make holes deliberately in the fabric I'm working on. Just need a little bit of a hole there. And then you heal it so it doesn't look like an accidental hole. And you heal the holes and edges by rubbing them with a little bit of soap and water between your fingers. And it finishes off the edges and makes it nice and neat. Three over there, we've got three over here. That'll have some Angelina going through it, so it'll look cool. I might add some more holes on these sides, but we'll wait until we do the washing and additional shrinking. All right. So lesson learned with the gold. I'm going to have to find a better way to make it stick. The problem actually might have been I wasn't using, I mean, it was up against the superfine wool instead of like the Corriedale, a little bit more coarse. And I think when it's stuck with my other vessels, I was using a chunky wool like Corriedale. And merino is just super fine. Like this stuff is like 13 to 19 micron. It's super fine. 19 was the finest I've worked with. This is not merino. This is the Corriedale, and you can tell just looking at it that it's a floofier, coarser. Well, I don't know if you can't feel it, of course, but it's definitely way different than the beautiful silk and merino wool that went over here. So yeah, this will end up being finished off tomorrow because we have to do the finishing steps of the water and vinegar. And we will get a fresh dry towel. And we'll see, this size might be more than I want to work with in making my gifts. Might want to go a little smaller, like what I made for Alice yesterday. Yeah, this merino. Here's the two differences right there. That's Corriedale. You can see how floofy it is. And that is the 80% merino and 20% silk. So super, super different textures. This is great for next to your skin because it feels like Angora rabbit. And this is, well, this is very soft, but it's not as nice against your skin as merino. More for outdoor wear. So right now I have very blue skies and definitely breezy. Breezy, huh? It's 85, 86, 86. Now they're saying Tuesday will be the next sunny day. So we're going to get all our rain Sunday and Monday. And Tuesday, I don't have to cancel my appointment now. Look at how everything works out. Okay. So we have been on for 2.5 hours. I think I should give you all a break. My butt is going numb from sitting. I need to stand up and walk around get a dry towel because sitting here with a wet towel to lean on is extremely icky, even though it's clean water. So I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's being Sunday. I will try to get here earlier. I used to do my streams on Sunday, 10:30 on the dot. And this last several months, I've been getting lazy in the morning. I hate always wearing pants. Well, yeah, where you're living, it's not a good idea to wear a skirt unless you wear a kilt. Ah, nice. Yeah, that elderly fashion dance video that I sent out to all y'all. It has men in all kinds of wonderful dress costumes. And they have, I just love seeing the men in those dresses. It doesn't seem, oh, you know how some people just say, oh, you're so gay if you're wearing a dress. But men wear dresses, or what we would call dresses, caftans, all over the damn world. Here we have stigmas about it, but everywhere else where it's warm, men do not wear pants like Americans because it gets sweaty down there. They wear loose stuff because it gets sweaty down there. So it's Americans who are prudish, backwards people. They have big bell peppers, yum yum. I just got one, a big orangey one. So my darlings, thank you so much for hanging out with me again today, and I'll be back tomorrow. Or as I usually say, I'll be back tomorrow. You can count on me, except for what time I'm going to be here because I have no idea. I'll try to be here early. Please do me a favor. Remember to give me a thumbs up, leave a comment or whatever. Say, hey, have a nice weekend. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Hello.